everyone, today we have an anytime recipe for you. Now this is going to be a ridiculously quick recipe because it has hardly any ingredients and takes no cooking at all. So to start with, all I have here is 1 can of tuna, and this is just some light meat tuna which I drained and got all of the brine out of, so it's kind of dry, it's not wet and moist. Okay, to this all I'm going to start adding is some celery. Now this is just about a tablespoon of celery, and the celery is going to add that lovely sort of deep umami flavor that just comes with celery all the time anyway. Next we're going to add some red onion. Now this is another tablespoon of red onion and it's in a small dice. You can chop it up more fine if you don't want such a big onion flavor in your mouth when you bite into your sandwich. So just pop that in as well. After that we have about 4 to 5 capers. Now if you don't have capers, that's fine as well. If you have olives on hand, you can use maybe 1 or 2 olives and that's going to be just as nice. But if you have capers, definitely try and use some capers. So 4 to 5 capers that have just been chopped up. I normally have this for breakfast as well because it's just so quick to make. I have all the things on hand pretty much all of the time. And whatever I don't have is easily interchangeable with something else. Next we have some spinach. Now this is just a tablespoon of spinach that I've lightly cooked and then chopped up very finely. If you don't have spinach, feel free to use some lettuce. I just happen to have spinach all the time in my fridge. We're big omelette people in our house, so there's always some spinach around. I like that I can add more veg to this, so it feels like a more wholesome meal when I'm eating it, as opposed to just like tuna and bread. Also, my mom did this a lot, so I'm pretty sure this comes down the line from my mom. Now we're going to add some jalapeños. Now here I have about 4 to 5 jalapeños which I've just chopped up. If you don't have jalapeños, don't worry. If you have a little green chili or tiny bit of red chili, chop it up really fine and add just as much as you want to add. And you're going to get that lovely heat from the chili as well. But in this case, I'm going with my jalapeños. This is actually quite healthy and quite light because I don't actually use that much of mayo. And I'm going to tell you how I do that. So over here, I just have about a tablespoon and a half of mayonnaise. And this is a very light mayo, okay? Then I have half a tablespoon of some lovely Dijon Mustard and also some yogurt. Now from the yogurt, I'm going to get that lovely sharpness as well, and that's why I'm not going to add any lime. And I just have half a tablespoon of yogurt over here. If you want your mix to be more moist and more light and fluffy, go ahead and add a little bit more yogurt as well. And if you think the yogurt's going to add like this super creamy texture, it is 100%. But it's going to also hold the entire mix together. It kind of binds it with the mayo and the Dijon mustard. So now that you've mixed this and managed to incorporate all of the ingredients, you're just going to get a pinch of salt and pepper. Just put a pinch for now because you are going to add some cheese as well. And over here I just have 20 grams of grated cheddar cheese. And you can use whatever cheese you want as long as it's not a soft cheese. The cheddar works the best, and I love Kraft because I think I grew up eating it. If you were young growing up in India, you always had some relatives coming from the Gulf and they always bought some Kraft cheese back for them, and that was like, oh my god, such a treat. So we added it to all sorts of things. Like I was saying, if you feel like you need a little hit of acid, go ahead and add some lime juice. I, however, like the sharpness from the yogurt itself. Okay, so now to taste. Ooh. A little more salt, and I'm also going to add a tiny dusting of some smoked paprika. If you don't have this, some cayenne pepper would do just as well. I love this because everything is so interchangeable. It's not a rigid, tiring dish. You can use whatever you have on hand, and if you're doing that for breakfast or just a quick snack or a quick lunch, that's the best way to do it. Now I'm going to just put together my sandwich, and I will be back with some bread in a moment. So for the sandwich, all I have now is just some white bread, and you can use whatever bread you like. We almost always use brown bread actually. It's just that we thought we'd be some fancy people with some lovely white bread today, just like I was when I was 15 years old and I learned to make these. Okay, so you just grab as much as you want to put into a sandwich and make sure you squash it all the way to the sides. It's really sad when you come to the end of your sandwich and there's no filling at the end. So really be generous with it. You can also add some butter if you like. It will just add this really nice buttery, rich taste to the end of it all. And now we're just going to cut our sandwich. I think I should name this like are 2-minute recipes. And look at that. That is the amount of filling you want in a sandwich. You don't want a skinny sandwich, okay? This is the only thing a person's going to eat for their meal, so feed them well. So there you go. There's your sandwich. And what we normally do is serve this with some chips into it. Ta-da! There you go. How easy was that? So be sure to check out our recipes, all of them, because they're just as good. Try this recipe, feed your family, your friends, your babies, your children, because I know kids definitely love this sandwich. Be sure to like, share and subscribe.